If you're applying a lot and getting no replies, your proposal might not be the problem. Most beginners lose because they apply to the wrong jobs, so they are invisible to the right clients. In the next few minutes, I'll show you my simplest system to find only jobs you can realistically win. I call it the 4-layer job win system: feed, search, scan, clients check. And I used it to go from zero traction to over $500,000 on Upwork. So today I'll show you this system, and I'll warn you about 2 beginner traps inside it. Trap 1: how to train Upwork so your feed improves. Trap 2: one filter that looks smart but blocks great jobs. But first, let me explain how job search on Upwork works. When you created your account and optimized your profile, which I described in my previous video, you added information about your skills, services, and previous results. This information is used by Upwork to show you relevant jobs that are currently open. And since algorithms are not perfect and you might select weak skills, you may see random jobs. For example, I'm a Drupal developer, and if I open the Upwork website, I see dozens of jobs that require skills that I'm not good at. Technically, I could do all of them, and there is a temptation to apply to all of them. It would be a huge mistake, and here is why. When you apply to random jobs, you join huge pools of competitors. Those pools are full of people who look more relevant than you. So even if your proposal is good, the client may never notice you. Your goal is different. You want to look like the obvious match for a smaller set of clients, and that's how you get real replies. So first, we will define what a real match looks like for you in 60 seconds. Open Upwork and go to your jobs page. Find the best match feed and do a simple check. Scroll slowly, open a few posts and ask one question: would I be happy to do this job? Give yourself 1 minute. You're not applying, you're only checking the quality of the feed. If you see at least a few jobs you'd honestly do with good quality, that's great. It means your direction is not totally wrong. You did basic profile optimization and Upwork understands your clients. But if the feed feels messy, random, or not relevant, don't panic. This usually means one of 2 things. Upwork doesn't understand you yet, or your profile keywords are too broad, so it matches you with too many different job types. Today, we won't fix your profile, but I'll show you how to fix your job selection to see more relevant jobs. Because we are here to find jobs you can realistically win. And I'll show it to you in the last layer of my system. But let's start with fixing your job selection because it's also important. You have 2 ways to do it. You can train the best match feed, which is layer 1 of my system, and you can use your own custom search, which is layer 2. Layer 1 is the feed. Here is the easiest trick to clean your results instantly. Best match can become very useful, but only if you teach it. Because later Upwork can use what it learned to send you better suggestions. And yes, this can affect the quality of the invites you get in the future. So if you train it wrong, you will lose opportunities later. Every day, read your best match feed for 2 minutes. When you see a job that is clearly not your type, click the dislike button. Do this only for the obvious no jobs. Don't overthink it and do up to 5 dislikes per day. That's it. After a while, the feed starts changing. It won't be perfect, but it gets less noisy, and you save time every day because you're not fighting the feed anymore. Layer 2 is search. 1 phrase, 3 filters. Most beginners type 1 word and get too many irrelevant results. So we're going to do it the clean way. Use the exact phrases. When you search, don't start with a single word like design or website. What is too wide because words like design or website match thousands of totally different job posts. They don't tell Upwork what you really do, so you get a messy mix like a logo design, UI UX, banners, WordPress, Shopify, custom coding. It may contain quickly $20 fixes and big long-term projects. Instead, think in phrases a client would write. Take your service and turn it into a short phrase. For example, landing page design or Shopify fixes or WordPress speed or logo redesign. Your phrase will be depend on your skill. Now put that phrase in quotes. This forces Upwork to show jobs that contain that exact phrase. On the left side, you can see filters with numbers. Those numbers show how many jobs each category has. If those numbers are too small, don't quit. Make it a little broader, remove one word or try a close synonym. Or remove quotes. Your goal is search that gives you enough jobs but still feels relevant. Also, Upwork search is not perfect, so expect to try a few versions. Now we need to add filters that protect you from the worst jobs. You only need 3 filters in the beginning, not 10. If you use too many filters, you will confuse yourself and miss good jobs. First filter, experience level. If you're brand new, start with entry or intermediate. Don't lock yourself into expert only. If you're new, you need jobs where the client is open to hiring someone new, as long as the match is good. Second filter, payment verified. If you see lots of suspicious jobs, turn this on. When a client is payment verified, it usually means they added a real billing method and they are more likely to actually hire. Many of them have hired before. When a client is not verified, it can still be a real client, but it's also where you will see more free advice posts or scams. If you apply to those, you can waste your connects. And yes, applying to jobs costs money, and you need to use Upwork's internal currency called connects. I described how to use buy and get free connects in my previous video. So use this filter as a simple safety filter. Just remember, some good clients are brand new and not verified yet. So don't treat it as a perfect rule. Treat it as a cleaner fit option. Third filter, category or specialty. If you get thousands of results, narrow by category first. If you search for web development jobs but see jobs for designers, this filter removes the biggest noise fast. That's it. 3 filters, simple, repeatable. By the way, you can save the search by clicking on the Save Search button and use it with the best match fit, but not instead of it. You can use more filters, but notice that some filters look smart, but they can make you miss good jobs. Here is the big one that cost me the most money early on. Don't filter by hourly rate or budget too aggressively. Clients often put placeholder numbers because they don't know the real price for the task. Sometimes they guess, sometimes they copy old settings, sometimes they are not sure yet. I have dozens of examples where I got simple tasks with small budgets that were converted into thousands of dollars over time. I once took a small fixed price contract for about $80. It looked like a tiny job, but it turned into repeat work. Over time, that same client brought me about $46,000 in total. I have dozens of examples like that, so the lesson is simple. Don't judge the future by the first number you see. Use the job content and the client signals, not only the budget field. At least not in the beginning. Once you teach Upwork what is relevant for you, set up the correct filters, it's time to apply. And if you watched my video carefully, you remember that we are here to find jobs you can realistically win. So you don't need to apply to everything you see. Instead, you need to pick jobs that you can win. Now, this is the part that changes everything, the 30-second decision scan. But before I show it to you, make sure you're subscribed because I post Upwork videos every week. If you want the full beginner roadmap, how to make your profile visible, choose jobs, avoid wasting connects, and structure your proposals, I put everything into a free starter kit. You can grab it below in the description. It includes the exact checklist for the 4-layer system, so you can follow it without overthinking. Now layer 3, which is the 30-second scan. This is the turning point because once you can decide fast, everything gets easier. Open a job post and do a quick scan. First, clarity. Is it clear what they want? If you can read it easily, understand the client's needs, and explain the job to a friend in 1 or 2 sentences, this is what we are looking for. If you can't, it's risky to apply. Second, match. You need to meet all the preferred qualifications and skill requirements that the client selected. If you see some red exclamation marks, just pass on this job. It will be a waste of connects. Third, confidence. Can you complete this task 100%? Not 90%, not I'll learn on the way. If you're not sure you can deliver, skip it. I'll tell you what happens if you win a job that you're not sure you can complete with perfect quality and on time. You deliver something the client does not expect and the client may refuse to pay. Or worse, they will leave a bad review. That was the 30-second scan you need to apply to every single job. But even with a perfect match, one toxic client can destroy months of work. So you need to do a quick client check. Layer 4 is the 30-second client check. Look at their history for bad reviews. You don't need to read every review, just look for patterns. If multiple freelancers mention the same problem, believe it. Then check, have they spent money before? Have they hired people before? Do they work with freelancers or do they just post and disappear? If the client looks real and promising to hire, you don't need to apply instantly. Since you have a limited amount of connects and you can't apply to every single job, you need to pick the most attractive ones. The best way to do it is to save every job that passed the filters I described here. Just open the job and click on Save Job. Then you can open the main page and find the Save Jobs tab, where you can review the jobs again. Select the most attractive ones and then apply to them. You will not win every job, but these actions increase your chances. So you need to turn this system into a daily routine. Every day, open Upwork, start with best match and saved searches, spend 2 minutes training the feed, dislike up to 5 obvious irrelevant jobs, then do the 1-minute job scan and client check. Then save promising jobs. After that, open your saved jobs and review them in one sitting. If you do this 4-layer daily, you stop being invisible and you start finding perfect jobs that you can win. And here's the uncomfortable truth. If you follow this system perfectly but write a weak cover letter, you will still lose. You will find the right jobs, you will pass the scan, you will pick good clients, and then you will ruin it in the 30 seconds. That's why this is only half of the formula. Finding the right job gets you in the room. The cover letter gets you hired. In the next video, I'll show you exactly how to write proposals that don't sound like everyone else. Because without that step, this whole system won't work. If you don't see it yet, it goes live next Wednesday. Subscribe so you don't miss it.